刀は抜いた。敵方に一人でも生き残りがいる限り、この刀鞘には収めぬ。全てはお家のためじゃ。我が敵は奴らの領主と一門に忠誠を誓う勇敢な侍どもだ。あの者どもを滅ぼすとなると心が痛むが、これも運命のなせる技。仕方なかろう。地獄の鬼どもが束になって襲ってきたとて、この石垣を守り抜くぞ。だが当面の敵は鬼ではなく人間。よって心配は無用じゃ。これだけは約束する。戦が終わったら忙しくなる。跳ねた敵の首を集めて数えんとならんからな。
Welcome back to Let's Play Total War Shogun 2. The Sasaki forces have treacherously attacked Kyoto and we are under siege. This is the first battle we've had that actually has fortifications higher than the town level. This is a stronghold. As you can see, it's basically a wooden palisade, wooden walls on a raised dirt mound. Unfortunately, our forces are primarily levy. We in fact only have a single regiment of bow garrison with which to do most of our shooting. That and Shigehira, a general. As you can see, the enemy is approaching from the north with the levy and multiple bodyguards, and from many directions in the south. Bow levy coming from the east, and multiple levy units from the south. Now, the main concern we're going to have with defending this is twofold. First is they've got more bow capacity than we do, and we run the risk of being shot to pieces, so I have to make sure that my troops are held up against the wall in order to reduce the bow casualties, and I also have to prevent being overrun when they come clean over the walls. More on that later. Now, we're getting pretty close to firing range, so as you can see, our men are getting shot at, but they're up against the wall, so they should take relatively few casualties compared to if they weren't defended. Up on the north, we haven't had any action yet, but that's alright. These are quite deadly. You'll notice the very high reload skill and accuracy of general units. This is going to cause problems for our northern flank. Now, our bows have opened fire, and we're doing reasonable things. We're not exactly causing a lot of damage to the enemy units, but nevertheless, every man that doesn't make it up the wall helps. They're coming up the walls now, so I'll slow this down, and we pull back our forces so that we can man the walls with attendants. These guys are expected to do the bulk of the heavy lifting. They have higher combat stats and better morale than the associated levy that they are fighting. The problem is they're outnumbered pretty badly. In fact, we're outnumbered by about 250 men, which doesn't sound like a lot, but we only have 700. The walls should be the difference, but you never know. Alright. As you can see, the enemy are wavering already. This is always helpful because half of them get in the garrison, half of them are inside the palisade, half are out. They're locally outnumbered. However, they keep pouring in, and with that, they feel a little bit more confident. One of the benefits of... oh, we're wavering. One of the benefits of fighting inside the palisade as the defender, which you don't get if you are fighting in a town, is that your units will not rout. They will fight to the last man. This is going to be very, very important because we're going to need that. And we've broken our first unit. Thank God for that. Now, we want to try to inflict as many casualties as possible, get a chain route, and secure this entire flank. And we've got the chain route we wanted. Fantastic. Unfortunately, our poor Northern Levy garrison unit is in real trouble. He's coming up the walls, but those poor guys, they were designed to eat arrows, and eat arrows is what they're going to do. One of the benefits of the garrison units, however, is that at the end of each fight when you are not under siege, they're immediately replenished. As such, you should use the garrison units for anything that involves being a meat shield. You see this little skull icon here? This indicates the unit is fighting to the death and would normally have shattered if it wasn't located inside the Tenshu area. Nearly held the north, and things are looking good for us. Hopefully we will hold them off. Our primary concern is that they will simply shoot us to bits. However, I have a sneaking suspicion I have more men than they have arrows. It's not the nicest way of looking at it, but unfortunately, it's do or die for us at the moment. And we've broken the northern area. Okay, things are looking very good for us indeed. They are shattered and not coming back. Unfortunately, they've reformed. Second wind from the south. I didn't notice this, and so my troops were out of position. I'm now desperately scrambling to get back into position. Fortunately for us, the enemy is tired, as evidenced by these little foot icons. The yellow is less tired than the orange, which is exceptionally tired. Some of their men have shattered, which is always good news, and they're not feeling particular. There goes the rest, and these guys should go any second. Now they only have their ranged units left, and the fight is basically over. Unfortunately, it's a stalemate. I can't leave to fight, because if I run out, my men will simply not have the morale necessary to win, and will shatter running away. This is going to be bad for me. However, I can't really fight them off. I'm running light on arrows, and also light on bowmen. Fortunately, we've routed this bottom unit here, and should be putting shots into their unit here. Okay, they've dismounted their general, and it looks like they're planning on assaulting the palisade. For some reason, the computer doesn't assault the palisade, it instead decides to take pot shots at my levy. Fair enough, he still has arrows left. It's around this time it looks like he runs out of arrows though, as he stopped firing, which is usually indicative of clean out of arrows considering there's still plenty of targets for him to shoot. So these guys are skirmishing back and forwards, and hopefully we'll win this. We've got a ranged advantage, and we're behind the walls. They are taking pot shots at the general though, which is a little bit unfortunate. Now my general still has plenty of arrows left, so I order him to put shots into their general with the hope of killing him, and therefore causing a chain rout. While this doesn't work, I don't actually manage to get the final blow, my general does manage to kill enough of their bodyguard in order to make him rout, which he will do so in a second or two. This will cause a chain rout and will enable me to win the battle. It's definitely pretty tight, and I don't think I could have held off if they had one or two more units, because that little bit extra force that you get is necessary in order to punch through, and once you've punched into a castle, it's very, very hard to hold it with a basic palisade like this. Let's just watch the last couple of shots, and there we go. Battle is won. Thanks for watching, everybody.